Most people in the UK are familiar with ISAs, but what if you're already using your full allowance or you're a higher earner looking for additional tax-efficient options? That's where vehicles like venture capital trusts and the enterprise investment scheme come in. In this video, I'll walk you through what they are, how the tax benefits work, the risks involved, and how each might fit into a long-term investment strategy. Let's start with a quick refresher on ISAs. Every UK adult can currently invest up to £20,000 into ISAs each year. The major advantage is that all growth, dividends, and interest inside an ISA are completely free from income tax and capital gains tax. For example, if you invest £20,000 into a stocks and shares ISA and earn a 6% return over a year, your investment grows to £21,200. If that same investment were held outside an ISA, a higher rate taxpayer could face dividend tax during the year or capital gains tax when selling. Inside the ISA, there is no tax to pay at all. Now let's move on to venture capital trusts, or VCTs for short. A VCT is a listed investment company that invests in very small, early stage UK businesses. Because these companies are higher risk and harder to finance, the government offers generous tax incentives to encourage investment. If you invest £10,000 into a VCT, you can claim 30% income tax relief, provided you hold the investment for at least 5 years. That means £3,000 is offset against your income tax bill, reducing your effective cost to £7,000. In addition, dividends paid by VCTs are completely tax-free, and any gains made on disposal are not subject to capital gains tax. Now, to make that more concrete, imagine you invest £10,000 into a VCT in April. When you submit your tax return, you claim £3,000 in income tax relief. If the VCT pays a 5% dividend, that is £500 a year, and unlike normal share dividends, there is no dividend tax to pay. If you sell after the 5-year holding period, there is also no capital gains tax. However, this comes with a clear trade-off. The underlying companies are often small, early stage, and higher risk. Some may perform very well, while others may fail entirely. The tax relief exists precisely because investors are taking on this additional risk. Next, let's look at the Enterprise Investment Scheme, or EIS for short. EIS is even more focused on early stage businesses. Like VCTs, it offers 30% income tax relief, but instead of investing through a listed fund, you are investing into individual qualifying companies, typically via an EIS manager. So if you invest £20,000 into EIS qualifying companies, you can claim £6,000 back in income tax relief. One of the most distinctive features of EIS is loss relief. If an EIS investment fails and becomes worthless, the loss can be offset against your income or capital gains tax. For example, if your £20,000 investment fails, after claiming the £6,000 income tax relief, your net exposure is £14,000. If you're a higher rate taxpayer, you can then claim loss relief at 40% on that £14,000, recovering a further £5,600. Your actual loss is therefore reduced to £8,400 rather than the full £20,000. In effect, the government shares part of the downside risk. EIS also offers powerful capital gains tax advantages. Any gains made on an EIS investment are free from capital gains tax, provided the shares are held for at least 3 years. In addition, if you have already realised a capital gain elsewhere, such as from selling shares or property, you can defer paying that capital gains tax by reinvesting the gain into EIS qualifying companies. EIS investments can also qualify for inheritance tax relief, provided the shares are held for at least 2 years and the relevant conditions are met, making them particularly attractive for estate planning, though this adds another layer of complexity and risk. So how do these options fit together? Well, ISAs are the foundation. They are flexible, widely accessible, and entirely tax-free. For most people, using the full ISA allowance should be your first priority. If you're a higher earner who has already used your ISA allowance and potentially maximised pension contributions, VCTs and EIS can become relevant. VCTs tend to suit investors seeking tax-free income through dividends who are comfortable with higher risk and longer holding periods. EIS is more specialist, offering upfront relief, loss relief, CGT deferral and potential inheritance tax benefits, but it carries the highest level of investment risk. To bring this to life, imagine 3 investors. Alex is 30 and saving £500 a month. For Alex, a stocks and shares ISA is ideal. Simple, low cost and tax efficient. Beth is 45, earns £120,000 a year and already uses her ISA and pension allowances. She invests £10,000 into a VCT, claims £3,000 in income tax relief and receives tax-free dividends. Charles is 50, has built significant wealth and sells a property with a £100,000 capital gain. He reinvests that gain into EIS companies, defers his capital gains tax, claims £30,000 in income tax relief, and any successful investments can grow free of capital gains tax. Each strategy suits a different situation. ISAs are universal and straightforward. VCTs can work well for higher earners looking for tax-efficient income. EIS is designed for those large tax liabilities or estate planning needs who are comfortable with very high risk and illiquidity. To wrap up, ISAs are an excellent starting point. If you already have used your ISA allowance, there are other powerful tax-efficient tools available. The key is not to chase tax relief alone, but to ensure the underlying investment matches your goals, time horizon, and tolerance for risk. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more videos just like this one. If you're keen to learn more about personal finance, be sure to check out the industryportal.com, link in the description below. Thanks so much for stopping by, and as always, keep growing, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video.